Yes. So I called to order the LKPOA Board of Directors meeting for Monday, June 24th, 2024. Please stand with me, pledge allegiance to the flag. Okay, we have 7 directors here. Rita is out for the evening and I have no idea for translations. So, but we have 7, it is a quorum, so we can do that business. Comments for the record. Only thing I would have is to remind everybody that we have the busiest celebration week of the year. So look in your communique or constant comment that are coming out to give you a schedule of all the events. Okay, the next item on the agenda is comments from members. Please stand to a microphone from Scott. Rich, give us your name and lot number. Any comments? Okay, there being none, we can move forward. The next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of past board meetings. The first one is the board meeting of May 20, 2024. Are there any comments, concerns, or corrections on those minutes? Is there is there a motion to approve those minutes? Moves to approve the minutes of the May 2024 board meeting. Is there a second? Nancy seconds. Any further comments? There being none, all in favor, please raise your hand. It's 7, 8. And so those are accepted. The next one is the special board meeting of June 5th, 2024. Are there any comments or questions or concerns, corrections on those? Yes, sir. Very good. Larry Wisnett moves to approve those minutes. Nancy seconds that motion. Are there any concerns or corrections or questions? Okay. That being said, all in favor, please raise your hand. So that's 8. Okay. So the next thing on the agenda is the treasurer report. Our treasurer is not here this evening, so Mitch Augustiniak will take her place. It's all yours.
Next slide, please. This is end of May data information. Overall, bottom line for the actuals for May is a positive 15,299. May budget was a negative 45,000. The actual budget was over 60,000 for the month, and year to date actual budget is almost 270,000. Next slide. Budget summary for funding highlights. Revenue action budget again over $59,000. In our first month of initiation fee, there were 8 properties sold to new owners. That was 29,500. Just year to June to date is another 9 homes, I believe. So we'll have another little over 30,000 plus for June. Food and beverage sales were 24,000 positive. Miscellaneous income, which included citations, resale certificates, were over 10,000 more than budget. Building permits have been slow all year. They were $3,000 to the negative. We're still waiting for our first home start. We should have one on Blackfoot coming soon. Next slide. Treasurer's highlights, expenses, administration, security, public works, health maintenance, sanitation, golf pro, also positive, mostly just because of salaries and benefits, low on staff. Lodge, food and beverage was to the negative, 19,000, which is again salaries, but also it's food, liquor, card purchases higher than normal, as well as some uniform purchases. Next slide. Treasurer summary for reserve funds ending in May. We were all positive in all our balances. The CDRF was positive 522, which was its percentage of earnings from the interest. Again, year-to-date interest earned is over $50,000 from investments, for 8,000 was garnered for just the month of May. Delinquent accounts were holding fairly normal now. We were down from last month, the previous month from 60,000, but 47,000 historically is about where our median that we carry. Hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 of those off in 90 days in the coming months. Next slide. Cash balances, checking 350,000, all other reserve funds were 4,400,000, so total balance of 4,790,700. That's all.
Okay, are there any questions for Rich? What is the status of our audit?
So I hadn't heard anything on Friday, sent out a question today, and didn't hear back. We were supposed to have a draft last Friday. They received today, we hadn't received it.
Thank you. So, the next thing on the agenda is consider possible action on committee changes. This month we already have 4. First one is on the land use 52 acres. We're removing Dan Bush from that committee. The next one is on long range planning. We're adding Brent Buck to that committee. And nominating committee, we're adding Yvonne Collier and Parks and Rec, Lorraine Smith. So that's all I've done. Are there any questions? There being none, do I have a motion? Dean moves to accept the committee changes. Gene Sledge seconds. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor, please raise your hand. It passes 8-0. Thank you. Okay. The next thing on the agenda is possibly opening a checking account for the Par 3 course. We currently do not have separate accounts for each one of the reserve accounts. We have a main account, and then we have journal entries such as that. So in our discussions with our accountant, because of the nature of those funds, where they came from, and the dedicated nature of them, the size of them, he highly recommended that we open a separate checking account for those funds. And that's what we're requesting. It requires board action to do that. It requires a positive board resolution. So I would like to propose that we open a checking account at First State Bank to house those funds. It would be a regular checking account, it would be an analyzed account and roll up into our main account for account analysis purposes. but it will have separate funds in it that will be able to see that. And on the monthly financial statements that you get, you'll be able to see it. And if you take back the format back, then you'll actually get to see what happens. So, anybody have any questions or concerns about that? It will be the signatory, the same signatories that are on them. So me, Nancy, Larry, and Bria, and Dee. So I move that we open a checking account for the Part 3 at First State Bank. All right. Very good. Any questions or concerns at this point for that? Okay. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. That's 8-0, so that passes. Okay. The next thing, I promise I'll stop talking here. The next item on the agenda is to take action to consider possible action to consider future donation process. Okay, so what this is we have approved, the board has approved the process of how the donations work. And we approved all of those donations as a part. But the Part 3 guys doing what they do best, they keep raising money. And so, well, what I would propose, and I think I've got their approval to do this, is that as long as they have the proper paperwork and can give that paperwork and the check or the source of the funds to Crystal, and then she will update that. But those additional funds don't need to come back to us to be approved. The donation committee at this point is out because they've already approved this process. So all we're trying to do, we're not trying to stir anything other than just cut a step out of it and make it quicker and get money in the bank, which is so are there any questions or concerns on that? Okay. Is there a motion to amend the process slightly for that? Who makes the motion? I think that makes sense. Just to be clear, they not having to come back to us to approve someone that increases their monthly payments $100. On the paper, yeah. Not so. Okay. Right. I think it has to be. Somebody will walk in and try to check that. All right. Ron, any motion? Ron is second. Okay. Any further questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. That passes. Okay. The next item is Gerald Smith.
Maybe tired of hearing from me, but that's too bad.
I'm Gerald Smith, lot 1419. And in your packet, you should have been provided some information about the Part 3 team's request to the board to install, design, purchase a temporary construction sign for the Part 3 course located on the 52 acres. The temporary Part 3 sign will be installed in July of 2024 and remain there until the Part 3 course is completed, which is scheduled to be the spring of 2025, looking at about a year. And this construction sign will be located just west of the driving range on the 52 acres, approximately 20 to 25 yards to the right of the fence. You know where that fence is pretty well. It's about 20 to 25 yards west of the fence, and it will be about 125 yards from Kiowa Drive West. So it will not be up on the roadway. It will be setting back off the roadway about 125 yards. And Rich did a site map that should be in your package showing you pretty much where we intended, where we would like to put it. It will be an 8-foot by 12-foot sign. And a copy of the layout should be enclosed in your packet. We have we have recognized the generosity of the donors in the community as well as the corporate sponsors there. And we'll be working with each of them to get their logo, but that is pretty much the layout that we would like to use. And again, the temporary sign will be paid for by Part-3 excess funds, not from the POA. It will be installed by the Part-3 team, along with some supervision from Rich and the Public Works Department. And likewise, it will be removed once the Part-3 course is open. So the sign is made and constructed to last a year with the weather, inclement weather, as well as the wind conditions that we can have. So we're trying to get it designed and constructed so that it lasts for the year and look nice. So be a metal type fence or a metal sign. Gonna have wood support, wood metal support for the bracing and the support that will be around it. Right, Rich? No, it's not.
Okay, are there any questions for Chairman? And it's not on the new acreage to the driving. Right?
It will be in a buffer area that would be between where the current driving range is and the new driving range will be. So it will be able to stay there. West of the fence, about 20 to 25 yards.
Yeah, the deal was that they would have put it on actually on the Part-3, so the well, it would have to be ginormous to be able to read it.
That and it would probably be removed after the first bulldozer made it pass.
Right. So this is sort of a happy medium.
Is that going to be ground level or raised up?
It will be
over the fence.
It will be 2 to 3 feet. The bottom of it will be 2 to 3 feet off the ground, so that it's not at the ground level.
Any questions from the board? Is there a motion to accept this sign about to be built on the property that they proposed? To accept the sign and then is there a second? Nancy seconds. Any comments, questions, concerns?
With the other than recognition, that's the purpose of it, should be recognized as fathers.
Yes,
Okay.
and to let people know that it's soon to happen, coming soon.
And we're also holding that on when you look at this.
Side.
Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. So passes. Next item is.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. This, just to refresh your memory, the layout of the 52 acres and the R3, everybody remembers exactly where Kiowa Drive West is, right here. And then that side, the current driving range is right here. The R3 will go here. And as you recall, we talked about turning the driving range around. We have an agreement with a nice donation. You might remember, we accepted that and signed an agreement that we would pursue this opportunity. And what we put before you is a suggestion, recommendation by both the community manager, the golf department, the land use committee, Dean's been involved, Warren and Brian, is to engage the services of an architect consultant to help us with what this might look like. The idea would be to hire someone with expertise, which we don't have, and a knowledge and a connection to contractors who do this type of work as to what we might be able to build here at a reasonable price. The first step of that we're asking you to consider is to sign the agreement or agree to the agreement with the architect who is building the R3 blocks, who's been out here numerous times. He's got extensive background and experience in this area, as well as a vast amount of knowledge and experience in doing this type of work. But the agreement calls for us to engage his services to help us plan, schedule, lay out, and potentially go to the market to with an RFI, which we would solicit bids and opportunities from contractors who would have an interest in doing this. And likewise, an added to the timing is that with the part 3 being done, it could save a considerable amount of expense by the staging that's going to have to go on up there. If someone could stage it to do one project or two projects, potentially could save money for us. So we're asking you to approve this agreement tonight. That's put before you. It's been reviewed by James Tidwell. It's been reviewed by Rich, myself, Bill, and I think we're at a point where the architect is in agreement with the contract as well.
Thank you, John. Just to be clear, this is not a commitment to build it. This is just to get an architect to design it and give us, here's what he thinks it's going to cost to do it. And this donor has given us $100,000 to start that process. We've not agreed that we are going to build, even with them. There's an out clause in the agreement for them that if we don't do it, then we just give them that $100,000 back, or we'll get the check again because it doesn't come in until January 15th.
Bill, I agree with you completely. I think the other thing is that chart seems to be very, very reasonable being for the service that you're asking them to do.
Yeah.
that come from the POA from part.
Yeah.
It would not come from the part three, and the reason because of that is that it is not a part three project.
Yeah.
It's a POA project.
Yeah, so we'll take the 10 grand out of CARF. But if we don't do it, then that 10 grand's going to be moved out of CARF and moved over to OEM. So just saying.
Sure. So also just, I know most boards probably learned this, but I just want to remind you that we've talked to Lauren. Her contract, is written so that when we put money into that driving range, her agreement changes. And now we have the right to get that money back. We have to work out the law, of course, but Bill and I have talked to Lauren. She's very agreeable. She wants to do like a profit sharing on the driving range, share expenses, share profit. This could be a good, I can't give you numbers. I just think it will be a very good income for the POA. Also, the synergy of the par three and people up there with shade, with shelter, with software brought in to aid people in getting lessons and to play the games that they play and all these type of things. Food at the pavilion. This could be something that would be very good. You know, a lot of as you look at the long range plans, a lot of people keep saying we need something that brings in income. And this is something that can potentially do very well, I think. The driving range now brings in a pretty good penny. And I think it would at least double. And I think I would say at least double.
There's a tremendous amount of activity on the driving range for us now. It's limited in size and scope. What we're looking at is a much larger area. And to Dee's point, Lauren is very much behind this and Brian is pretty much behind it. I think it would be a big boost for the community. It's an added amenity.
Yes, so as treasurer alumni, let me just point out, yes, this is a source of revenue. It's not necessarily a source of income. So just make sure everybody understands. So that's the first thing. We've seen no numbers from Lauren, so we don't know what she's making. So we'll get there. I've asked the Ways and Means Committee to get involved, look at return on investments, calculations, and all of those kind of good things. That taxpayers society, nobody else cares about. So,
But it's all due respect to Lauren, she has done as much research as she's been able to, and she's never done anything like this before. Even most golf pros haven't done anything like this. And what we're talking about, probably a minimum of 6 top grades up to maybe 10, minimum of 6 up to 10 potentially. And that could generate some out.
yeah, no, don't misunderstand.
No, I just want to clear on that. This isn't her background.
All I'm saying is, proof's in the pudding, what the numbers are, and that's why our crack Ways and Means team will figure that out and report back to the board, figure out if that's going to make sense for us to do it, because it is way more extensive, just the initial numbers than what you think. So
If we do it for forward or plus,
just across the building, probably $3,000. And but we got 100 of that, and everybody can put this cost. So
we could potentially, if we go forward, after Lauren top rates here in the installing a 241 range, if
get the electrical and all the power to be available for that.
Yeah.
The possibility.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Just everybody understand. Any other questions from the board?
So in reading over what we have in front of us, it's the design and all the scope of work and engineering and all of those things that he provides face-to-face meetings. And also construction administration, that's also in this proposal too. And that he would continue to oversee, if we choose him, and if we choose to go forward, he would continue to oversee the construction until its completion. That's my understanding reading this. Is that correct? And that's all for $10,000. Okay.
Well, he's not gonna do it for 10 grand if he wasn't already put part three.
Well, there's other fee considerations, other duties as assigned kind of things.
This would be a big boost for their business.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
I just have a small one on the contract. I was last item is number 4, which is a repeat. So just need to get one little small edit on there to get that number correct.
Okay. All right, so you'll call tomorrow with that fixed. And I'm simply, you don't need to look at it again, do you, James? Okay, all in favor? Is there got excited here, sorry. Is there a motion to approve this contract? Selection. Motion. Is there a second? Nancy seconds. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor, please raise your hand. It's 8-0. Thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Okay, Rich, is there someone who can come on here?
But I can speak for pickleball for right now. Unless there's somebody else that can be here for pickleball, is there?
Okay.
Just up on the board in your packet, the pickleball courts, gone through, Parks and Rec. We've had a couple meetings. We're trying to move forward with, first getting kind of tentative approval for the location of it, because they'd like to come next month with a donation, to do some investigatory work, as you mentioned before, to get some soil bearing tests and some, topo survey. So we could possibly get a better estimate on the cost of pickleball courts would be, oversight. So what we're proposing is below the dam, again, but not in the parking lot, but behind to the west of the community garden. And just, again, trying to get tentative approval that if they do get donations to proceed, that we can contract out to get the information that they request.
Okay, if there's no one from pickleball here, it's authorized to speak to them, we will move on to the next item. Okay, that is, we will table that for next. Okay. Clark and Ryan. This is, the American Legion Veterans Memorial.
Good evening. There's so much activity going on right there. If you'll look up on there, there's a proposed site plan of where we have been working with the Parks and Rec Committee quite some time on developing this site plan. Excuse me, it's right across the street from the fire department. Kind of the reason for that would be there's a hose bib right across the street from it that gives us water.
And I'll explain the reason for that, and there's some parking. Okay, so our real goal, American Legion's real goal here was to build something very nice for our community with respect to the veterans. And we expect our community and the folks in our community, the visitors to our community, to use this facility. To go sit, reflect, enjoy the view. We want it to be, it's in a very active area. Obviously, there's a lot going on that's already been talked about tonight in this area. And it's high visibility. And we like that. This will be a low profile memorial park, memorial monument. Also, we want to plan it to be low maintenance on the POA staff that cuts the grass in this area, which we will do. This presentation is to get the POA board buy-in before we start spending money. These are concept plans that we're doing here, but we're ready to roll. And if we could get the ability to put it there, put it based upon some of these things that you're going to see in the slides, we would like that to occur, and we will continue as we finalize things to bring more and more back to you and let you see what you're doing and let you agree to that as well. We're happy to do that. Go to the next slide. So what you saw that location, what we're really anyhow, what you see there is a circle. That back red is a wall that will be about 36 to 40 inches high. There will be a monument right in the middle. The United States flag is the tall one in the back. 6 other flags represent the 6 services, each service. And here in a minute, when you see the horizontal view of this site plan, you will see why those 6 flags are there. As you can see in the middle there, it says engraved papers of our Lake Kiowa veterans. We have not completely defined that yet. It's what constitutes a Lake Kiowa veteran, but we'll get to that and we will bring that to you. As you see right in the middle there is a hole. That's where the fire pit will go. That's the burn area for retiring flags. We will do that on June 14th every year, Flag Day. We will also probably do one in the fall as well. We'll have probably 2 of those a year because we're collecting enough flags. There's enough flags in this community to do that. That red box right out in front of the lodge here gets filled up all the time. You have to pick that up. There are 3 benches set around the perimeter of that. And as you see below, the pavers would extend down. As we grow, this will be a living monument that as people purchase future pavers, and by the way, our pavers are not as expensive as the par 3 guys. So, the pavers will surround the burn area and continue to expand in that whole area. I want to thank Jim Fox for helping us out here. Randy Howell's going to help us out here. Where the money will be spent is to get some decent drawings so I can come back in here and present those to you. Can you go to the next slide? Thank you. That just shows you the expansion of the paper area, which will come down as our more papers are laid. And we'll figure out what to put on those papers at a later date, but it shows you how that expands around. Next slide's coming. This is what it looks like. If you go over to this area right now, you will see some survey flags over there. That's about where we had this thing laid out. Those survey flags are over there right now. It's some distance from that oak tree, and then some distance from these trees over here. Because there's a burn pit in the middle, I don't want to count it. Okay? But as you can see, the monument in the middle there, as I talk about that
there's a train of thought that that should look like the rest of our community. All signs on our golf course, where those sandstone monuments were made, and that monument would be something similar to that. Even the wall would be something similar to a sandstone. Hopefully the par 3 guys are going to use sandstone in their tee markers. It seems to be sandstone is kind of a community type, brings all together kind of a decor situation. And so we're going to do the same thing. Next one, please, Scott. Just so you see a live one, this is a live one. We think this is, as you can see in the wall, you will see 3 little plaques stuck into the wall on this side and 3 on the other. Those are the insignias of the 6 services. You'll see the monument in the middle. I would propose that our monument not be near that large. And it would be down just above the wall itself. The 3 benches in that pink area below is kind of, this one doesn't have a fire pit in it, but that would be where the paver area goes. Because we want to expand pavers coming this way back toward the benches, we would not do the concrete, we would do like a cinder, so we can expand, so we have future expansion of paver. But that is about what it would look like. And as you probably also saw the other 6 flags for the services, we would have one of the flags behind each one of those little insignias that are inside that wall, the service flags there. There's some discussion about the service flags that we keep them. We have the poles there, but we don't put them up unless some event is coming. It's going to involve them. But this is something for us today. Something we want it to be nice and good. So what we're looking for here is a buy-in for us to see with this. We're going to spend money. This will not cost the POA. There will be some excavation of the site. But we do want the site to tilt a little bit toward the lake. So the runoff of rain, and there will be weep holes in the bottom layer of the brick on the wall that rain will run right through. Any questions?
Who manages our budgets? Is your guys?
We
You
we manage all the ones on the golf course. We manage the lodge. Manage that one. We will manage this one. We will manage. We even manage a few personal flags in yards. Make sure those. When we drive around and we see one that's scattered on, we contact the owner and try to encourage. We sell flags, so and it's our prices are great. Just so everybody knows, we sell flags, our prices are great. We try to manage that as well.
What kind of source fuel source?
What?
What kind of fuel source is the flag coming? That look to be
It's not, there's nothing permanent. It's mobile. We will bring it in when we need it. And what you generally do is temper about 5 or 6 flags to get it going, and then. Okay, so what you're asking for us today is to allow that to be built on that piece of property. Correct. And we will come back with. I will come back so that formal drawings and everything. Yep. Definitions that we get. We need to start spending money to get it rolling. I'm hoping this will get done in the fall, but we gotta get rolling. Okay.
So the also so you got 36 to 40 inches high.
36 to 49.
And the benches are
But they put a wall from column, you'll see a cap on the column over here and a cap on the column over there. Leave that wall because you can count the bricks, it's 50 feet. We don't necessarily need 50 feet, but that one is 50 feet.
I'm just thinking, you're sitting on the bench, minus heights.
Actually, I don't think the wall can be that. Because that property sits like this and like this. Well, like is way on down here.
is went downhill, and we're gonna keep some of that, we will have to excavate some. The drainage, there's a berm kind of behind that, and there's a ditch on this side, and there's a ditch on the fire department side. When it rains a lot, the water runs down the fire department side and actually crosses Kiowa Drive West, the other side of that tree, and in the road down there. Most of that water is coming off that pond over by the water. That's where most of that water comes from. But it comes out of that ditch on the fire department side as well, and then crosses that road down there. So I don't think we're going to have drainage issues here.
Yeah, I'm not worried about drainage, I'm just about the view.
Yes. We want to keep the view. We can lower the wall a little bit.
I mean, yeah,
I don't have the drawings yet.
Okay.
I don't have anything to scale. If we were all going to shoot, we're going to make a transit level, we're going to shoot it all, and I'll be able to tell you about it.
Like you say, that's like the flag, 1%.
But I don't want it to pull water in.
I know, but it's like that's pretty.
It'll be slight and, yeah, I want
And likewise, when you're sitting, if you say it's, think really power, the ball will be about power.
So Sean, are you thinking that you won't be able to see Lake?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I'm just concerned, I'm sure anyone can go down there.
Our goal is to make it physically pleasant. That's where you're at. We want to see it.
Yeah, I think, I love the idea of honoring our veterans. I'm just concerned about, is this gonna be something that just doesn't get used because it's kind of on a road or there's not a lot of parking.
You got parking across the street, the fire department, and you got parking over next to those 3 trees there.
Well, I like the idea, I'm just wondering how much traffic.
I don't know how to estimate that at this point. But you're thinking if you build it, that will come.
I don't know.
We hope so.
Yeah,
we want,
that's
definitely, we want the kids to know what it's about. We want the community to use it. We want future generations. Plus, I think it's important for us to honor that. Thank you very much. Concept.
And
Absolutely. Is there a second?
Recommendation, probably gonna take it back inside.
Yeah, there's a thought about that. Maybe one leading off to that parking area. And maybe it's not concrete, but it's cinders, if you will, or something like that, like we're doing at the walking track over at the north end. Yeah. Yeah. We can't, this back area, as that paper stuff, I can't really pour concrete down here because we'd have to chip it out and put more papers in. In case you get another roll of papers, something like that, we'd have to chip it out as we move back this way. That's what we're thinking. Yeah, well, yeah, and the cinder type really fine, or maybe not so fine. But we have to dig out every road, then we sell more papers. We get more papers. And put those more papers in. So pouring that in concrete is probably not a good thing. I mean, we're still working on all this, design stuff. We just need some help with it, and that's uncomfortable with everything.
Rich, how's that? Destiny.
Lake access, really, it's not used for every once in a while, somebody up a lot. Years down there. Every once in a while, a bit dock down there, take the dock, the wall.
I've seen, people drive their cars in there.
This will be the first thing that you see when you come in the brand new Westgate.
Pretty close, yeah. We like the visibility. We like the activity in the area with the par three and the driving range, this and that. And a lot of people, visitors come by there a lot. I like the visibility and the activity in that. I think that's
You have more to go through for that one. On your memorial, there's a couple of thoughts that people use with pavers, and one is go ahead and put pavers down. And then as you get people that want them, you just rip them up.
Yeah.
Which is a real common practice.
Yeah.
But to Sean's point, you know, the part of the purpose is to see the lake. Really not going to see the lake if you might see it going sort of southeast, if you will. But on the master plan, we have it either there or we have it where the existing driving range is now. And so that's sort of how those were the areas that the master plan looked at that were potential for the Veterans Memorial. So this would be an acceptable place from a master plan perspective.
So your suggestion may be to turn it. Maybe the wall is here. Okay, I did. We'll get there. We're a long way from where we'll be, and y'all will see it all.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions, concerns, or comments? Having none, all in favor? Say 0. Mark, thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, and you're true. Okay, in our continuing effort to have transparency into our board and its committees, we have this month celebration committee and long range planning committee. Nancy Jackson, it is all yours.
Okay, so before I start celebration committee, is a raise a hand. How many people are going to the July 4th weekend events? Any of them? Any of them? Very good, because that's the biggest one we put on the PLA and the one that's the most expensive. So hopefully that will be there. So celebration committee, our responsibility really as a committee is to manage the PLA sponsored events. And so you can, I'll show you a list of those in just a second. Also, from a POA perspective, we actually prepare a budget and put that in the POA budget. So in this current budget that we have, there's actually money for all of these events that are there. I will say they continue to go up, so that becomes a challenge for us. It is beyond the scope of the committee to manage other people's events. We'll help promote them, but it's beyond the scope for us to manage anything that Kiwanis is doing or Pickleball Association or anyone else. The priorities obviously are any of the annual community events. And really and truly the whole point is to make it a great community where everyone within the community can benefit. And we just continue to enhance that quality of life. We do make sure that we get input, we get feedback after every event. We try very, very hard to educate and let people know on timing that things do change. And so your communicator or your constant contact is probably the best place to see that. And so it's hard to see, but we do plan and organize and we manage the annual Easter egg hunt July 4th. And then we do all the promotion for the other events like the July 4th weekend this year. We have the Octane Association is doing a car show. The Women's Club is doing a craft show. So they manage those, but we promote them as part of the event. We do a fall festival in October, generally the last Saturday of October for our fall festival and trick or treat, if you will, on golf carts. And then the Veterans Dinner, the annual Christmas tree lighting that we hold in the pavilion, and then also breakfast with Santa. So those are the main ones that the celebration committee manages annually for us. we do put information in, the budget, and if there's anything else that, people ask for input or suggestions and stuff like that, we'll look at that too. And then just from a significant achievement, we've been very fortunate, that our events go, you're right, Scott, one more, there you go. We have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people from July 4th, probably several thousand people that are out here that come through what we do. Just so you know, last year, July 4th, just that day, we generated over $16,000 of ticket sales. And so that's a lot of tickets that move through here, a lot of activities and things that we do. And we've been below or on budget for all of our events for last year and this year too. We do want member participation. The challenge is on the celebration committee is that it's a lot of work at different times of the year. And we're very blessed that we have POA organizations that will get out here and help us. Especially the Women's Club, I'll give them a shout out because they are probably one of the best for boots on the ground, if you will. But a lot of people don't want to cheer it. They don't want to be involved because they don't want the responsibility. And there's a whole long list of all the reasons that people give you along the way. It is managing a big event. So when you're the committee and the committee chair, it is a big event. And so you're doing a lot of event planning. I will say that Jeremy, in his addition here has also helped, especially from a lodge perspective. And then Rich last year from a public works, and then Scott this year. In funding, and yet each year activities go up. They all have a cost. We're spending over $6,000 for the rides and activities for the kids on July 4th. Your fireworks that you all love to have on July 4th cost you $1,000 a minute this year. So for every minute that it goes up, you better do an awe for every one of those. I'm telling you, because it's costing you. And then, you know, just like Easter eggs, we had over 5,000 Easter eggs. Hide is a relative term if you've been here for that. But, you know, volunteers put those together for us, but chocolate's costing more, Easter eggs are costing more, and we want balloon twisters and face painters. You have to have a whole bunch of those for 500 or 600 kids. And so they cost more. Just let you know, that's what you see in your budget. That's just a piece of it. Any questions on celebration or anything like that? And what we do, I will give a shout out to all of the committee members. Every organization that's here has somebody that represents them on our committee. And without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here. So thank you very much for those of you that are on it, have been on it, and participate. So.
And I would say that being the chairman of the celebration committee is the most thankless job that we have in this.
Well, it's been my privilege to serve the past 3 years. So yeah, so no one wants to run it, that's for sure.
Okay, the next one up is long range planning.
Sure. Long range planning obviously is a standing committee, and it is the responsibility of the committee to go through, take member input and surveys, word of mouth, whatever it may be, other organizations to take that input and put together a 5-year plan that really continues to evolve every year and build upon itself. You know, kudos to the long range planning over the past 4 or 5 years. Several of you have been members on it in the past. We wouldn't be where we were today about talking about a park 3 or a memorial or any of those things. I think sometimes without the long range planning committee putting it in their plan, there's always the old adage, well, we talked about that 20 years ago. So now you're seeing it sort of come to life. And that's the long range plan's responsibility. It is beyond their scope to set policy. They can make recommendations to the board, they can get feedback, they can do all that, but the board has the final say on it. Remember, I already talked about that. So the main goals for this year, we have a community survey that will be coming out in just the next couple of days. And that community survey will run through the end of July. And then we'll have a town hall meeting and we'll take all of that input provided to the board, and that goes through with what the long range planning for the next 2025 to 2030, which is amazing if you think about that. That's what we're gonna do. August, September, we also provide input to a budget perspective by some of the priorities that we see and saying, I'm looking back over 10 or 15 years, what have been our priorities? What are people saying today they want? So probably 10 or 15 years ago, pickleball wasn't on the top of the list. And today it probably is. And so things change as we evolve with the community, as our demographics change. We see more families and younger demographics. We anticipate to see that from the survey effect. Scott will work. And then just significant achievements. Again, I will say that I thank again the community for all of their input, and the committee for their work, because they've been very focused on the master plan and making sure we get one, making sure it's something we can follow, is what we're trying to do, support that, and making sure we use what little land we have to the best to benefit everyone in the community, not just one group, but everyone in the community. And I guarantee you that's always a conversation at every meeting we have. I haven't been on one yet, but it's come up at some point in time. And again, we created the survey for this year. We did a lot of the pre-work for the par 3 in our master plan, and talking about where it should go and how it should go. We did look at some other courses that were out there that were par 3s, and so for that again, I'll give the committee credit on that. Organizations just like the Pickleball Association just a few weeks ago came to us, asked for our input, what they might want to do next, and what some of their steps were. And then challenges again is that although our survey is statistically significant with the amount of people, about 23% that respond, it still is only 23% of the community that respond to it. So we can always use more input. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Nancy. Don't snap, you're still up. The next thing is the survey.
I think we're going to show it.
Yeah.
Or show it. I'm good. The survey is around 30 questions. So we narrowed it down from about 60 before to about 30 now. And we did sort of tailor the responses. So it's a little more able to give us feedback that tells us what you truly want out there. And are you really satisfied with what we have? And do you want to see something else? And so the survey will be coming forward. And so I move that we accept the survey as been presented to the board and move forward with it from the long range planning committee.
So does everyone have an opportunity to look at it? Any changes that you would like to make?
I do have a couple editorial ones where somebody wanted that some word choices changed a little bit, but other than that, that's it. That can make sure.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the survey as written and allow it to be moved on to what you do? Is there okay. All right. Any questions or concerns or comments? Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, Rich, showtime.
Our community management report, in front of you. I'll just start out with funding requests. The first one, I'm bringing back, I brought this forward before, regarding resurfacing the tennis court on the East Beach. Trying to do some research and contact some other suppliers and contractors. Sport Kings, they have different, process as far as the plexi pay, which may be more durable. They'll also be, grinding down and fixing the cracks and also trying to fix some of the areas that puddle. Their fee cost is similar to what, Master Course was at 14.5, but brought to my attention, taxes aren't included, so I have to add, another $1,000 or so for taxes on it. So I would request 16,000 not to exceed for this. Try to proceed, try to restart this notice place. And again, this is from ARF, and it's moving forward from that schedule. And per recommendation, again, they won't guarantee this for any specific amount of time because of the issues with the foundation. But hopefully this will last longer, more durable. I'm hoping that itself will last longer, but still same recommendation from waste meetings and harvest to move it instead of every 5 years to every 3 years they anticipate. Of course, if it lasts longer, we can push it out, but I'd rather plan to have it resurfaced to the cover of money.
How much was the ARF for this?
The ARF was 13,000. Prices have gone up, so it's a little bit higher as well.
And when was it scheduled?
It was scheduled for next year.
Okay. All right.
No, I did not. The foundation's gonna be, I mean, it's minimum $100,000 for a tennis court. Yeah, not gonna go on that cost, plus demo would be additional, everything else compound costs. Yeah, the plastic phase supposedly is more durable. It's talked by Greg Walker. Really don't have a specific feedback, just the normal, recommendations on the site from the manufacturer, but hopefully the durability itself will help the last longer. I'll get that. I'll get that when taxes added on. That adjusted. Right. I'll get a fixed cost of taxes.
Still want to exceed 16.
Correct.
Do we know how long it will take?
When they schedule it, I don't know. It doesn't take that long when they put it down. I imagine a couple days to fix the surface and a couple days to be able to finish the beat.
And your finishing said like a day or two, but I just wondered how long it would be down, a couple of weeks.
Once they put it down, it's a day, but the prep and fixing the grass is gonna take longer.
You don't have an estimated time or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion to this? Please. Fix it. Seconds. All in favor?
Next, just wanted to mention signage. There was money for signage this year for road signs, et cetera. So we're going around replacing a lot of the signs that need to be replaced. In addition to that, the product to bring in different options and warning signs. James, the version of it, he's approved. So get some of those caution and warning signs up too, with like at the low water crossings, et cetera. Requested. Next thing I would like to bring up would be the car sheet. Really hasn't changed all that much from previously. We just kind of updated it from last month. You can see where we are currently, and if we went through and spent all the money on their truth projects and front entrance, et cetera, we still have $350,000 in car. And if we went forward with the driving range, which we had 100,000, that would probably exceed. But even if we spend everything, we'll still have $148,000 at the end of the year, even if we were somehow able to set out this fund. The one thing I did add to this was on a request for a sand cleaner. It's kind of like a grader. We've had a lot of issues. I think we've done fairly well, but had a lot of comments about the beaches. Just, especially the storms we've had. I know the storms have been really horrible. Drainage into East Beach, the stones at the East Beach. Just trying to clean up the West Beach. It's very time consuming, difficult, especially the debris to try to actually clean the beach. This attachment that would go onto the tractor costs $17,705, including all. I'm requesting that sum if on the car to proceed with that.
I'm all for the cleaning the beach, especially the East Beach. Is there a difference between renting buggies and sorts of fun?
Really didn't look at the renting one, but I mean, we started in May for the majority, carried it to September. So that's it here. Yes, yeah. We do it at least once a week, if not more, especially as far as we do more. I mean, during the storms, it seemed like we did it every other day. We're still getting comments that it's a horrible shape. We just did the West Beach the other day. I mean,
Isn't she good for our dead sand, nice beach sand?
that's correct. But also, I mean, we actually put a lot of sand on the beach this year, and it's amazing how after you rake it, it goes out into the lake, try to bring it back. It gets, again, the debris makes up all the rocks, kind of defeats the purpose. So hopefully this will grade everything up and we'll be able to take everything out of the sand. So we don't have to add as much new sand.
Any other questions?
Is there any opportunity to wire these to be built?
I did not look into that. I was trying to find something. If you want to, I can look into renting one, and I can look into finding a used one. That's usually not.
What happens in all these other lakes? Because they have the same issue that we do. Where that water comes up and takes that sand away. Do they do anything differently? Or a permanent solution for the future or something like that, or hold the sand? I would think not, because you look at Galveston and they put sand up and all the time it's like that.
Well, if you go to different areas like that, it's break walls, jetties, you actually have to put things out there to break some of the waves up. You can go to Texoma and see a couple of the ones they'll even have the fires out with all of it. And you have to have something that breaks it up. So the only other really method is kind of barrier constructed up.
How to make it better for the future, because we'll still always have to.
Well, correct. I mean, that's one thing we could look into. Build break walls out there.
Past that.
Please, have you know someone else has been the work, who's one is your, so your maintenance guy that they heard about, I mean, what, tell us about it. I mean, you can see the picture, but does it work? Who likes it? Who?
Well, Public Works has looked at it and just watched videos. We tried to research if there's something out there that does this. This is what we found.
And so this goes through the sand and then the trash collects on the top of that screen?
Yeah, there's like a screen, so it collects everything and we can actually take the debris on it. But it's kind of like a grader too. Like if you think about it like a grader, it'll slide everything through and then it's got the grates that plug there.
Is it cooked like the front end load?
Yeah, similar to that. It's got the hydraulics and everything, so start out to it.
Yeah.
It's got like a 40, you need like a 40 horsepower. It's very similar. It's just normal tractor attachment. Correct. I can look into it.
So what I'm hearing is, Rich, you need to get a demo and then bring this back next week.
I'm for, if anything saves labor, I'm all in. And if you're gonna use it a lot. But I'm the person about which you put it in, you use it for months and you don't max it. Just have to-
Just moving on, update on everything, the covered smoker trailer, it's been delayed, I won't have it for July 4th, it's mostly constructed, I saw some pictures of it, needs to get painted, needs to get set on the trailer. The, manufacturer actually had some personal medical issues, or some staffing issues, and timing wise, he got some contracts in before we actually finalized our treatment, so kind of got just delayed for factors. We're finalizing the pergola on the patio, finalizing the staining, roof cover, TVs, finalizing all that. Lodge AV, we're just waiting on some projectors that were back ordered. They should be here in a couple of weeks. Paint on the interior, trying to get some bids, but they've been way higher than expected, so we'll probably do that in-house. Just trying to figure that out. Security radios, last time I talked to Melanie, that any day now they could get a final invoice, get those purchased. And I don't know if any of you noticed or looked at the communique, I put in some pictures, an update on the dam designer, they were drilled. So they're all in place. There's reading devices that get installed inside that'll give us electronic readings. They will actually come on Friday. Kind of changed again, so they'll be out here Friday to set that all up. So we'll be able to start getting readings on that. I've been in contact with BVA, GCQ, about finalizing low flow outlet and trying to figure out anything we can do with our water rights permit. I really have gotten zero response on revising our water permit to eliminate the need for the low flow, but I'm trying to get an answer on that one way or another. And then again, just looking forward to when we do this work, we'll have a test the low flow outlet, but after that, I want to, proceeding with the downstream repairs, finalizing that, and we'll have to lower the water 2 to 3 feet to do that. So I'm trying to expedite the low flow, try to get all that set up. So we'll be able to do the downstream fall, winter of 2025. Otherwise, it's push out all the way past summer again. We're going to go up lake level 2 to 3 feet summer. So if it doesn't move quickly, you look at the downstream repairs probably going all the way up to 2026. Just giving you heads up on that.
Would you wait till, summer will, right?
Well, you have to make sure you have to be able to control. There has to be no chance for the water to come up and there can't be any rain. So you have two things fighting against it. So you want to make sure that you have to schedule it. So you can't, if the water is going to be low and you know it's not going to rain for 4 weeks, guys, then sure. It's not practical.
Sounds like August to me.
Then talking about the wakes and everything else, should put in there. I closed the lake and I got some comments about it, but the water level was so high and the waves were bad as it was, people were still going out on water. One, there's brief storms out there, but also just makes a small lake it's hazardous on people's property. So I'll probably continue doing that, talking to the committees, trying to figure out the number. We'll know what the water level is at. I was trying to gauge 701 foot over normal pool. Probably just try to standardize those like at that level and try to figure out that. I don't know if you have comments about that at all. That's a good idea.
That'd be great. You come up with a number.
I always get comments about it too, like, close to lake. Sometimes you have to, but I think it's a good thing.
I think there's always going to be exceptions. That you can't. It's so far, I'm going to do that.
And to me, that's why you get the level set. So some committee can say, yeah, open it, and everybody's property is pulled up. It's not up to the committee, we've already decided. If it's a foot over, or whatever, then we're not. And so if it's 4th of July, 4th of July. But that, our responsibility is to take care of the problem. And Ronnie and I were talking earlier, there's a lot going on that lake right now that's not taking care of the property. There's a lot of ladders out there, there's a lot of big waves, there's people doing power turn, and it's not being enforced. And there's a lot going on out there. It's not about, oh, well, it's weekend, oh, well, it's this. No, we got to protect our lake and our property. Same as people crossing the golf course when it's wet, when it's cart path only. People, what the heck, just go across the street. Talk to them and big deal finding. We've got to start enforcing those things as our community grows and more people are out there. And I think that's a big part of this board. Is to take the hit, yeah, we're closing the lake on 4th of July, and it will ruin everybody's property. So we're not opening and we take the hit. I mean, it's already been determined.
I think it's just, informing people, getting support, enforcement. Going on the golf course, I put on a rule too. Has had a lot of people walking on the golf course lately, not playing on the golf course, riding bicycles. And again, I don't know if that's just people not being informed or what their attitudes are. And the front entrance update, again, hopefully we start this in the fall. We're finalizing plans, civil plans, MEPs, etc. Still working on getting a cost to move the water line. That may be the biggest hiccup, but that keeps pushing forward. Part 3 contracts are ready to be signed. We'll be signed tonight, so they'll move forward. Also working with Pentex. I think Pentex is about 3 weeks out right now from running power. We need to get the area mowed, some trees cut down. So that's our next step. And our IT department finally finished all the migration and updates. We are on the cloud. We're still working with it a little bit, used to it, but everything is up and running. Road work is pushed out until July for the weather. It's originally supposed to start a month ago. It just kept getting pushed out as well. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Rich. It's our schedule on the ground yet.
Well, it is on the cloud. I have no cloud. It's a matter of giving you permission and us to take permissions out there.
Okay. Is there any additional business? Yes, sir.
Which, with all the, and I know we got to talk down, like trees that are down around the community. Is there a plan for those? The back end of that, I guess, is we're not, just to make sure if we've got trees out in our community, we're not taking any use for having dead trees around. As well, just to be experienced, right?
No, the only things we've been doing is previous dead trees, trying to point that out ahead of time and get people notice to cut down their dead trees if they're falling. Obviously, we, for the most part, people are acting on them just as we are. We still need to get some of our own Kiowa trees set up. I'm trying to give priority to homeowners who have them in their yards. We have some lake access that still need to get picked up and cleaned up and bad tree services on that. But no, you're not going to, space trees fall. We're not going to get this side.
Is there a plan for the barbecue pit that's in front of the wall? Front gate. There's a bench right there. There's been a barbecue pit up against that bench for like the last 4 months. Yeah.
I'll look into that. I don't know if there's a plan.
A lot of effort into a lot of it.
Anything else? Okay, this is the second opportunity for comments from the audience. If you have a comment, please raise your hand, give us your name, and line number.
I don't know if I'm going to need this, but I'm going to give it here. Gentlemen, just talk about trees. I live on the east side. I've seen it every day, but I forgot to look tonight. Have the trees below the dam And the one by the picket grove, have they been cleared out? Cut up? They were done today. That's why I didn't see them. Okay. You had something up there about roads, but no specifics. I've asked you this previously. I'm really concerned in this community that we don't do a better job of striping our roads. I quite frankly am getting a little tired of having to move to that white line on the right because so many residents and in particular contractors are going over the center line. And I think the community needs to do a better job of striping the center line, particularly around curves and particularly around by the dam as you come up around the east side. It's really dangerous. Thirdly, you talked about the front gate, but I didn't see anything. I'd like to know what the main gate update is. It's come to my attention that's going to be renovated in September, but I haven't seen anything since this topic was discussed, probably starting 5 years ago. And I think if you're going to do something in September, I think an article needs to go into the communique or an email sent out to the residents as to what you've got planned. Because I don't have a clue of what your plans are. The one thing I have heard, which just concerns me, is that the commercial lane is going to be on the right, on the outside lane, which means that if somebody is to refuse entry, they're going to have to swing around in front of the residence lane, which is allegedly being planned for next to the guard check. I think this is a dangerous situation. If anybody agrees with me, maybe that needs to be revisited. But I think the way it is now, residents on the outside, contractors on the inside, I don't understand about this little bobby cut that I've heard is going to be built. And that's why I think, I don't know, folks, anybody else here, are you up to date on the guard check? Okay. If it's only me, that's fine. The other thing is, I'd like to just make an observation here. I'm not using this. I don't need it. Most of you folks need to speak up more. I'm partially hearing impaired, and I can't hear anything you guys are supposed to say. I would say that Nancy ought to give you all an education in public speaking because she was terrific when she was giving her presentation. That's all I have to say. I heard you. You're the only person here I heard clear. Anybody who's speaking can't understand.
Here, sir.
Yes, sir. I don't know if it's a lesson in how to use a microphone or in this kind of setting environment, if you're doing any justice to the peanut gallery, you need to project. And if you're not doing that, you're not keeping each other informed and you're not keeping the peanut gallery. That's just me.
Good luck. What's your lot number?
134.
Thank you.
You don't have to put all that in the communique.
Thank you for your comments. Just one little comment to your comments. Sorry, I don't use the microphone that often. I'm tired, so this board and the committee, the front entrance committee, worked on this very diligently and have put articles in the communique, that put diagrams in the communique. You voted on it in February to approve it. So I don't know how else we can communicate to you, sir. It's out there. All of the plans are out there. It's been vetted. Yes, there's going to be a turnaround in front of the incoming line, and they are using technology to address that, or you don't have the opportunity to crash into it. So, you know, I don't know how to issue any further up to date because it's all out there in public forum for you to be able to read.
Are you sure it's been in the communique and not maybe on some email you sent out?
Yes, sir.
Wow, I must not have gotten those issues. Okay, I stand corrected.
I'll get it out to you.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Anything else, anybody else? Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Chuck Cox. I'm lot 642. I'm on the east side of Lone Wolf Cove. And I know I spoke to your email Rich about it. It's thought about it. They're doing the best they can. But, you know, there's an area there, it's a common area that is a bear dam. And all I'm asking is that, you know, we can work together to come up with that plan. It might go into a budgeting process or something else, but, you know, I think a better job can be done.
Thank you. Next. Dan.
And that's the lot 1291. The topic I want to talk about is the separate bank account for golf course. 1000% in agreement to having a separate accounts and seeing what's going on. You can have a better view. My concern is that's roughly $1.5 million somewhere. And you put it in First Name Bank, it's our protection. Yeah, I see we should want these. We also have a lot of other people we look at First Name Bank. Well, First Name Bank, it's not the issue. It's just really, you know, a prudent perspective from our, you know, finances around how do we make sure we're protected against the very unlikely scenario that something happens with First Name Bank. So I just, nothing, I think it's today, but I think we need to start thinking about what is our strategy to minimize our exposure to things like that.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Can you tell me if there's a plan to make the road, when that is?
Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are scheduled for this next round. Correct. And then hopefully we can roll right into January with more road work and striping. And then hopefully I'd be requesting additional money from the initiation fee next year for road work. So hopefully we can get a lot of that done. I'm not gonna promise you every road city can be striped, but we're gonna get a lot of it done. Then we're also gonna do a trial of the glass beads on the center line, so they're more reflective at night. So we're doing a little trial area on the west side for this round in July. So we're addressing it, we're not getting all.
Those center reflectors, you tried it in the past and they always get run over.
Well, I'm not doing the little flip things. We're gonna actually do those little glass beads and on the bottom. I don't think we tried those before. So we'll see if they last a little longer.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, if there's not an objection, we will go into recess now. It is 7:35. We will be back here at 7:45. Thank you all for coming and see you next month.
You're back here, huh? How long you been back here?
It's barely 2 months. Good, great.